Women of Reddit, what are some NSFW hacks every girl needs to know? There was a comment on the men's thread about washing out cum stains with cold water. Same goes for period stains. Blood clots at over 42°C temperatures, so rinse with cold water. It may be more common knowledge on Reddit, but a couple of my IRL friends actually had no clue when it came up in conversation once. Edit. Fantastic replies. Let's just sum this up real quick. Your own spit contains agents that dissolve your own blood. Till. Thanks. Seems to work on dry stains too. Shampoo. This should have been an obvious one, since almost all shampoos contain SDS, sodium dodecyl sulfate, which is an anionic detergent that is also used in biochemistry to denature proteins. Will probably not work if you use shampoos specifically for curly hair, since they should be SDS free, but you'll know, since they are a pain in the ass to find in store. Meat tenderizer also contains proteases. Apparently toothpaste does the job too. And dish soap also contains proteases to break down food residue, so probably a good pick. People have mentioned hydrogen peroxide, which is a bleaching agent. Period panties. I prefer black over red, but it's generally sensible to avoid wearing your favorite fancy underpants on a heavy flow day. Duh. If you've got super sensitive skin like me, then shaving down below is an absolute nightmare. Getting a decent trimmer, exfoliating acne wash, and calamine lotion changes everything. If you're having pelvic issues for a while and got tested for a urinary tract infection and it comes back negative for bacteria, it could be physical, so you should get tested for other stuff. I had an ultrasound done, then MRI after months of pain, and eventually they found a tumor and a fibroid cyst. There's nothing wrong with using lube or coconut oil for those with lube allergies. Every time you have sex, your body won't get wet enough every single time, even if you're feeling horny and ready to go. Lube reduces risk of soft tissue damage down there. Use liberally and as often as needed. This goes doubly so for shower sex, where water washes away any natural lubrication. Edit. Some people tend to have this preconceived notion that if you're not wet you aren't enjoying it. This couldn't be more wrong. Things that can affect your natural lubrication include birth control, antidepressants, long-term acne treatments, most medications with a side effect of dry mouth and eyes, genetics, diet, concurrent illnesses, congenital physiology, etc. Don't let anyone tell you you're broken or bad at sex if you don't gush down there. And don't be afraid to bring this up with your GP or gyno if there's any changes or discomfort. Sex should be physically and emotionally enjoyable. You just have to find out what works best for you. If that involves a metric ton of lube, so be it. Edit 2. Things to note about organic virgin coconut oil as a lubricant. Thanks to you/ChuckFinley_88. Oil-based lubricants aren't compatible with condoms. It has antifungal and antibacterial properties, so, like other lubricants, it may affect a vagina's pH and flora in a negative way. If you menstruate and find yourself in a situation without pads or tampons on hand, this is the best way to make an emergency pad that will not leak after like 20 seconds. Grab paper towels, fold it hot dog length a couple times until it is roughly the size of the bottom of your panties. Tuck the top 1/2 inch inside the little flap thing on the bottom of your underwear. If you don't have it, it's fine. Take toilet paper and wrap it around a couple times until the paper towel is covered to secure it in for comfort. Tuck in the last part into the bottom, pull up your pants, and you're done. Also, never be afraid to ask for another person for tampons/pads. You can get ESS from pads, not just tampons. It happened to me. If you are on your period or just recently finished, and you have a persistent headache, fever, and or vomiting due to the Kegels are important for everyone. Just a friendly reminder for women. I do invisible Kegels while listening to music, wherever. Pee after sex. Pee after sex. Change your underwear as often as possible. Straight after work, etc. A piercing can fix inverted nipples, and removing them after fully healing should leave them normal. I'm assuming this is common knowledge, but orgasms are the best treatment for PMS. Get a bra that fits our/breath that fits. Make sure you know exactly how your contraception of choice works, how effective it is, and anything that can interfere with it. Many women find menstrual cups are superior to tampons for comfort, and they save you money and produce less waste. I second the recommendation. To get a good vibrator, maybe less NSFW, but male toiletries are often cheaper and just as good or better. Razors, for example. Utis suck. Know how to avoid them, and if you get one, complete the course of antibiotics. Don't fake orgasms. You're reinforcing bad behavior. Make sure he/she learns what you need, so he/she can make you come like a pro. Thank you. The worst sexual experience I had was with a guy who insisted that all of his previous sexual partners had orgasms within a few minutes of sleeping with him. He was baffled when I didn't. He kept repeating "come for me" until I finally stopped and told him I wasn't voice activated. He flat out didn't believe me when I suggested that maybe, just maybe, some more all of the women he'd slept with had faked it. Not NSFW, but a life lesson. Get into the habit that whenever you notice something you like about another person, you tell them. If you like that woman's shoes that is slowly approaching you, tell her as you pass her. If your cashier has some really cool accessories, tell them before you grab your stuff to go. Sometimes you may make some friends from this, and it always makes you and the other person feel better when you give genuine compliments. You never know what is going on in another person's life, and this could help brighten their day. Also, the same thing goes for yourself. If you notice that your eyes look so goddamn pretty in the light as you pass your beautiful reflection, fucking compliment yourself. If your outfit perfectly matches today, you better let yourself know that fuck you look great. Your hair fall the way you always love. Your eyeliner perfectly matched for once. Your shoes aren't fucking killing your feet, and they complete the outfit. Compliment yourself. There are days you will feel like shit, but on those few days that you notice yourself shining, you better show some love. If you have been the victim of sexual assault or rape and have times where it can be triggering to have sex, let your partner know. Let them know how to seek consent in a comfortable manner, or how to initiate in a way where you will feel comfortable to say no. Seems like a no-brainer, but that can be hard to talk about. Also, the right person will understand and respect what you are going through, and when you are ready to let that freak flag fly, they will be there. It is okay to do what feels right, and it is always okay to say no. As a guy, this crushed me with my recent ex. When we first started dating and hooking up, every once in a while she'd just go quiet, so I'd obviously stop. She would start crying because she felt bad that we had to stop, but I'd always feel so terrible for her and would comfort her. I've never felt so bad for someone in my life, not in a pity way, because she would want to have sex, but every once in a while she'd get a flashback. She eventually got so comfortable around me that she stopped having the flashbacks and thoroughly enjoyed hooking up. It was such a huge weight lifted off of my shoulder, because all I wanted to do was make her happy, and when she stopped having flashbacks, the thank you she gave me one night literally made me cry. It helped how open she was with me about everything. I'm so glad she didn't try to hide it and just pretend to enjoy sex when in actuality she'd be miserable. I'm glad that I was able to help her gain her confidence back. I have so much respect for women that have gone through sexual abuse. You guys are stronger than you realize. Not exactly NSFW, but super important in my opinion. A considerable number of women suffer from PMDD. It's like PMS, but instead of cramps and crankiness you get cyclical depression. Estrogen has some important serotonergic effects, and each month some women find their brain reacts to the changes in hormone levels with potentially severe symptoms including depression and/or anxiety. The symptoms typically start approximately a week or so before the first day of a period. Many women state their mood will then feel notably better around the start of their period. I personally struggled with PMDD for some years before realizing what was up. Some women find SSRIs or other antidepressants helpful, but for me what really solved the problem was taking continuous oral contraceptives, no placebo week, to keep a constant hormone level. Also, I'm a medical student, so helps to have some context for the pathophysiology. Honestly, not a lot of obs/gyns or primary care doctors screen for PMDD. Gross tips. Put deodorant under your tits if you sweat a lot there, and worry about your tits being as smelly as your pits. Your vaginal discharge is slightly acidic and stains panties. Have people are going to see my panties pairs that you always wear panty liners with so that they can end up on someone's floor and you don't have to be embarrassed about the weird discolored or bleached stripe you get down the middle of them. The landing strip method of junk shaving not only has that cool retro look, it also prevents you from getting ingrown hairs at the places you're both most likely to get them, and they are going to be the most noticeable. P after you have sex or masturbate to prevent UTIs. Don't stick your fingers in yourself if you wear polish, unless you want some funky infections. Good sex tips. If you want to feel sexy, have good sex, and give your lover an ego boost, make sure to be very hydrated on the days you think you're going to get lucky. You will be wetter than usual and more likely to squirt, and if you squirt, it's less likely to smell and taste like pee. Don't practice your deep throat skills on rigid objects. Real penises are not that hard, you want the squishy silicone stuff if you're ambitious and a perfectionist about your oral skills. Pineapple juice doesn't just make his cum taste better, it makes yours taste better too. The vagina is a muscle. You can make it feel tight by using it. So, masturbate as much as you want, girl, it's only beneficial. Also, orgasms cure headaches. Slightly deceptive sex tips. If you hate the taste of cum, deep throat it right before he comes, or put it under your tongue then spit or swallow, so you can't taste as much of it. If he's lasting too long, say some filthy shit to make him come, so you can have a break. If he's not lasting long enough, experiment with positions to find which ones result in the least satisfying penetration for him, and the most satisfying friction/penetration for you. The differential can make up the difference sometimes.
Like, share, subscribe for more.